What the hell were you saying, you housekeeper? Yes, you'd like a housekeeper in this house.
You don't make much money, so you have to do your job as a housekeeper.
We won't have any problems without you.
I understand. Then I will leave here without any hesitation. My name is Marla, a 3-year-old housewife. My husband Ken and I have been married for 2 years. We got married through what is called a shotgun wedding, so we have a 2-year-old daughter. My husband and I were originally classmates in high school, and we started dating when we met again at a classroom. 2 years after we started dating, we found out that I was pregnant and got married. However, we were in our late 20s at the time, so it was quite normal to be married and have a child, so there was no problem. In fact, I got the impression that the birth of our child made the transition to marriage smoother. We lived happily after the marriage. I took full maternity leave so that I could concentrate on raising our child and being with her all the time. My husband loved her very much, and when he came home from work, he was always with her. We had a very good atmosphere in our home, but one thing led to the disruption of our peaceful life. That was moving in with my in-laws.
My mom and dad want me to move in them.
What? Why? They're not that old to need care yet, are they?
No, they've been telling me that for a long time. Being the eldest son, I'm sure to live with my parents. Well, I just wanted to live with you and our angelic baby. That's what she said. But now that Kate is 3 years old, I think it's time for us to move in with them. Besides, my mom can help you with the housework, right?
I am currently working part-time. But it's not easy to raise a child, work and do household chores all at the same time. Don't see my in-laws that often. But when I do, they love my daughter, and I don't have a bad impression on them. I think we might be able to work things out if we move in together. Had a preconceived notion that living together would be difficult. After thinking it over calmly, it doesn't seem like it would be a problem, and agreed to move in with them. Our decision was wrong. For the first month or two after we moved in together, my in-laws were kind to me. That made me feel at ease. But gradually, my in-laws' attitudes changed.
Maria, could we have dinnered a little earlier?
I'm sorry. When I pick up my daughter after work, it's usually around this time.
If you work part-time, you should come home a little earlier.
Well, it's my job, so.
It's also half-hearted, and it's really bothering me.
Why do they have to say that much? My work usually finishes around 4. Then I pick up my daughter from daycare, go to the supermarket, come home and prepare dinner. So dinner time is usually around 6 p.m. It's not particularly late, and my daughter is not home yet at the time. I mean, she doesn't do any housework, so why is she complaining about it? And since she lounges around all day, I'm sure she hasn't even digested the idea yet. And not only my father-in-law, but also my father-in-law is gradually changing his attitude toward me.
You haven't cleaned the bathroom yet?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to prepare dinner first.
You're so slow. Can't you do your chores more quickly? You're so useless.
My in-laws started to be harsh with me, a little by little. I couldn't hide my confusion. I knew I couldn't just leave this problem, so I talked to my husband, Ab. Why are your parents being so cold to me lately?
What? It's just your imagination.
No, it's not. They get upset and angry over the slightest thing.
I think they want you to be a better wife. There is nothing wrong with that.
My husband said with a nonchalant smile on his face. Or rather, was wrong to marry him. My feelings for my husband gradually began to fade away. After that, my in-laws' attitude became worse and more unreasonable day by day.
Hey, give me a massage.
I haven't finished washing the dishes yet.
Don't talk back to me and come here quickly.
When I had to give up my job to take care of my mother-in-law, I had to do the dishes and wash them. My father-in-law would snap.
Hey, the cup I always use hasn't been washed yet. You're so useless.
Can't you wash your own cup? but I couldn't understand why my in-laws' attitude had become so cold. I had no choice but to ask my husband to speak with them. My husband said it was too much trouble to speak with them, but when Beso him, pearlescent agreed to it. So how did it go? What did your parents say?
Well, they said something about part-time workers not having human rights.
What? What's that?
Anyway, Mizuki works part-time at a tea shop.
But that's what you asked me to do. You asked me to work part-time because you cannot raise children and do the household chores all by yourself. You told that to your parents, didn't you?
Well, I didn't think my parents would change their attitude because of such a thing. So I was so surprised, and I didn't have time to tell them that.
That's impossible. I really don't know why I married him. If my daughter had not been born, I would have undergone the operation immediately. I believe that for the sake of my daughter, they should be a father. But then one day, I witnessed the terrible scene. It was the weekend, and I was shopping at the grocery store. When I came home, my mother-in-law was sitting in the living room with my daughter. She suddenly said to her daughter the most unbelievable thing.
Oh, if you were a boy, I would have been more happy. Why did it have to be a girl? It's such a shame.
I couldn't believe my ears. What on earth could she be saying to a 3-year-old? Mother, please don't talk to my daughter like that.
Oh, I didn't know you were home.
Please, take back what you just said.
No, why should I take back what I meant?
What if she gets traumatized?
She doesn't understand what I said. You're overreacting.
That already lost my patience. It's already enough that you harassed me. I won't tolerate you harassing my daughter.
Harass you? When have I ever harassed you?
Are you pretending like you don't know? If you're not aware of it, you have a very twisted character.
What are you talking about? A housekeeper?
A housekeeper?
That's right. You're just a housekeeper in this house.
When we were arguing, my father-in-law came into the living room to see what was going on.
It's so noisy. I can't even read the paper. What's going on here?
She's trying to start a fight with me.
What? She's got a lot of nerve for a housekeeper.
I see you two call me a housekeeper behind my back. You guys really are a bunch of assholes, aren't you?
Screw you. You don't deserve to be made fun of by a bum who works all the time. Make much money, so you to take care of the house as a housekeeper.
And you don't get to challenge your mother-in-law. You're worse than a housekeeper. You should leave at once. You got pregnant to get our son's money, so he wouldn't have to pay child support. That's what a woman with a bad character like you would do. We won't have any problems without you.
You can say whatever you want, that's enough. These people need to hear more of that. All right then, I have no hesitation to leave. I've decided to pack my bags and leave the house with my daughter. Just then, my husband, who had gone fishing, came back.
Oh, Maria, what are you doing with such big luggage?
I've been a professional housekeeper for over 10 years. Won't be coming back to this house anymore. Good luck on your own.
Hey,
My in-laws are smiling as they watch me leave.
Well, now my son's earnings won't have to be exploited.
My husband's face was pale, but since he doesn't say anything at this point, sout. I took my daughter and went to my parents' house. The next day, I got a call from my mother-in-law. Hello? Do you still want something from me?
Oh, Maria, I'm sorry for the terrible things I said yesterday.
This change in her attitude. She must have heard it from my husband. What happened all of a sudden?
I apologize. Please come back.
No, you don't need me, right? There's no need for me to come back.
I didn't know that you were bringing money into this house.
I was paying $1,000 a month for my parents-in-law out of my salary. Even though I work part-time, I'm a nurse, so I make a decent amount of money. My husband has a full-time job, but to be honest, his salary is quite low, so most of it is gone on living expenses. That's why I was paying money from my salary to my parents-in-law. In addition, we were saving for a daughter's tuition fees and other future expenses. My husband is a kind person, but perhaps because he has low self-esteem, he's quite vain. So when I left my parents-in-law's house, he couldn't tell them that his income was low and that his wife was supporting him financially. But when he failed to protect me, it was over for me. I told my mother-in-law that I wouldn't go back no matter what she said, so she hung up the phone. Then I sent a message to my husband saying, "Tell your lawyer to call mine." I blocked all numbers from my in-laws. I then suddenly got a divorce, asked my ex-husband for child support, and also for alimony for his silence on the approval of my in-laws' harassment. My ex-husband is on a low salary, and now he has to keep up with the payments. Of course, there was no way he could put money aside for his in-laws in that situation. However, his parents were unable to lower their luxurious standards, and it's that their savings are decreasing rapidly. They have even started dipping into my father-in-law's retirement fund, and at this rate, it seems that it will be difficult for them to get through the rest of their lives. Well, it's none of my business anymore, but I think they deserve all that. Every time my ex-husband visits my daughter, he asks me to help him out because he is in trouble. One day, she said, "If you keep bringing it up, I'm not going to let you see her anymore." He stopped asking me to help him altogether. On the one hand, I went back to my parents' home, and am I working hard as a mother? Since my mother takes care of my daughter now, I work from home. My income has evened out. I will continue to work hard and earn a lot of money while watching my precious daughter grow up. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you like. See you in the next video.